Hey guys, it's Gregory again. Now today's video is going to be pretty long because this 70-year period is packed full with action and personalities. So let's rewind back to the end of the last video. So around 1402, Okinawa was split between the three kingdoms of Nanzan with King Terumai, Hokushan with King Hananchi, and Chuzan with King Bunei. Remember that Bunei was on shaky ground with China after the eunuch incident. Now enter the father-son duo of Sho and Hashi. They lived in Nanzan, and Sho was the Aji of Sashiki Castle, which overlooked Chinan Bay. Now from the castle you can see where nearby Uezato Castle is, and around 1402 Hashi led his father's army across Chinan Bay and captured Uezato Castle. Then, around 1406, he moved on Urusoi Castle, overthrew Bunei, and installed his father Sho as king of Chuzan. He also moved Chuzan's capital to Shuri. To the north was King Hananchi of Hokushan. Hokushan had a large army, and Hananchi was known for his strength and personal skill in combat. However, he was also arrogant, and a disagreement he had with his retainers resulted in Hashi convincing some of them to join Chuzan, notably the Ajis of Haneji and Yomitanzan. Gosamaru, Aji of Yomitanzan, will be an important figure in Chuzan. In 1416, Hashi gathered all the armies of the Ajis of Chuzan, plus Yomitanzan and Haneji, then marched north into Hokushan. When they reached the city of Nago, they met the army of Hokushan. Hashi ordered an attack, and Chuzan's arrows fell on them like rain. The grass was stained with blood, and corpses were sprawled along the roadway. They attacked Nago Castle and killed its 200 defenders. Hananchi retreated to his capital at Nakichen, the largest castle in Okinawa. It sits on the side of a mountain with tall walls surrounded by jungle and deep ravines. Hananchi held out for a few days. However, one of his retainers, Motobu Taihara, defected to Chuzan and opened the front gate. Hananchi owned a mythical sword named Chiyoganemaru, which he thought would protect him. But, as the Chuzan soldiers stormed the castle, he cursed the sword and the gods and threw it into a river. He said, "Only one must die today," and he killed himself. Chuzan had conquered Hokushan, and Hashi put his son Chu in charge of governing it. Sho then died in 1421, and Hashi sent a request to China to be recognized as king of Chuzan. However, in 1427, the Shwanda emperor presented Hashi with the surname Shang, pronounced Sho in Japanese, along with the title King of Ryukyu, along with a Ming-style royal crown and robes, a royal seal, and a lacquer tablet with the characters Zhongshan, or Chuzan, inscribed on it, which Sho Hashi then placed on top of a ceremonial gate on the approach to Shuri Castle. Next, Sho Hashi turned his attention to Nanzan. King Terumai was said to be corrupt and often host large drunken pleasure banquets. One day, Sho Hashi asked him about the Kadeshi Spring, one of the most important sources of fresh water in all of Nanzan. Terumai was willing to sell it to Sho Hashi in exchange for a gold-plated folding screen that Sho Hashi owned. This greatly upset the people and his retainers, and in 1429 he died of unknown causes. The Nanzan court was in disarray because Terumai had no heir, so Sho Hashi marched his army south and occupied Nanzan Castle, finally unifying Okinawa under a single Ryukyu Kingdom. Hashi also focused on diplomacy and trade, making regular exchanges with the king of Siam and even King Sejong the Great of Korea. Sho Hashi would die in 1439, and his three eldest sons, Chu, Shitatsu, and Kenpuku, would each hold short reigns with nothing of note in the official histories. However, accounts from Korean travelers in 1450 showed that Ryukyu had conquered Amami Island and controlled islands as far north as Gaja Island. When Sho Kenpuku died in 1453, his brother Furi and his son Shiro both claimed the throne, and a battle broke out in Shuri Castle, resulting in a fire and both claimants dead. Out of the ashes, Sho Hashi's youngest son, Sho Taikyu, ascended the throne. Now the highlight of his reign would be the conflict between the Ajis Gosamaru and Amawari. Gosamaru should sound familiar. He was the Aji of Yomitan-zan who helped Sho Hashi conquer Hokuzan. Well, after the unification, he moved from Yamada Castle and built Tsukimi Castle a few miles to the west. Sho Taikyu also married his daughter. As for Amawari, he was a peasant boy born in Chitan, but he moved to Katsuren and overthrew the Aji there. Katsuren Castle was large and wealthy from trade, and Amawari's power worried Sho Taikyu enough that he offered his daughter, Momoto Fumiagari, in marriage. When Amawari accepted the marriage proposal, Sho Taikyu sent Ufugusuku Kenyu to Katsuren as his daughter's protector. Ufugusuku was called Uni Ufugusuku, or Ufugusuku the Demon, because he was more than 6 feet tall and was a karate master. In addition to Uni Ufugusuku, Sho Taikyu asked Gosamaru to build a new castle between Katsuren and the royal capital at Shuri. Gosamaru constructed Nakagusuku, one of the most advanced castles in the Ryukyu Islands. The walls were even designed to resist cannon fire. However, one day Amawari appeared at the royal court and told the king, "Gosamaru is building a force to rebel, and we should attack him. You will regret delaying action." Sho Taikyu didn't immediately believe him, but Amawari said he would prove it. He then snuck up on Nakagusuku Castle with his army and began a siege. As the defenders began to fall, Gosamaru retreated to a tomb with his family. His wife said, "How are we guilty? Alas, the gods know people's hearts, both honest and false." They then killed themselves with their 2 oldest sons. After Nakagusuku fell, Momoto Fumiagari discovered that Amawari planned to march on Shuri next, so she escaped Katsuren with Uni Ufugusuku to warn the king. As Amawari's army arrived at Shuri Castle, they were met by the army of Ryukyu and driven off. Uni Ufugusuku led the army to Katsuren, where Amawari was defeated and executed. Aside from Amawari's rebellion, Sho Taikyu also put a lot of effort into diplomacy and trade as Sho Hashi had done before him. He was also a great patron of Buddhism and had many temples built, and in 1458 had the Bridge of Nations bell cast. An inscription on the bell reads, "The kingdom of Ryukyu is a splendid place in the South Seas, with close intimate relations with the 3 nations of China, Korea, and Japan, between which it is located, and which express much admiration for these islands. Journeying to various countries by ship, the kingdom forms a bridge between all nations, filling its land with precious goods and products of foreign lands. In addition, the hearts of its people emulate the virtuous civilization of Japan and China." It's at this point that I should introduce a man named Uchima Kanimaru. He was a farmer from the small island of Izena until he was chased off by his jealous neighbors, settling in northern Okinawa until he became a servant of then Prince Sho Taikyu. When Sho Taikyu became king, he made Kanimaru the royal treasurer. This brings us to King Shotoku, who succeeded his father Sho Taikyu in 1460 when he was only 19 years old. He became enamored with Japanese pirates, and one day in a village near Naha he saw a bird and said to himself, "If I can shoot that bird out of the sky with a single arrow, I'll worship Hachiman." Hachiman is the Japanese god of war. He then built a shrine to Hachiman on the spot where he shot down the bird. He also adopted Hachiman's symbol, the Mitsudomoe, as his personal crest. The Mitsudomoe became the symbol of Ryukyu itself. In 1466, under a Mitsudomoe flag, Shotoku assembled an army of 2,000 soldiers and a fleet of 50 ships to invade Kikai Island. The invasion was successful, but was financially burdensome to the kingdom. Kanimaru resigned as royal treasurer and retired to the countryside as a result. In addition, Shotoku caused unrest at the court by his frequent visits to Kudaka Island, where he had a relationship with the Noro priestess there. We don't know how it happened, but Shotoku suddenly died in 1469 without an heir. According to the official histories, the royal government decided to select someone of good character and Confucian values, and they called for Uchima Kanimaru, who at first turned down the offer but relented after the government's persistence. He then took the name Shoen, King of Ryukyu. However, it's very possible that a much more sinister event had occurred. Possibly, Kanemaru had led a coup d'etat and overthrown Shotoku and killed or banished any possible heirs. When he sent his request to be recognized as King of Ryukyu to China, he actually claimed to be Shotoku's son. He also forbid anyone from the original Sho family from being in the royal government, and also banished or killed supporters of the old regime, such as Uezato. With the fall of the First Sho Dynasty and the founding of the Second, we'll stop the video here. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more, and as always, see you next time.